South African factories are under pressure. Output fell 2.6% year-on-year in November. That's as the production of car, clothes and wood products, among other things, slowed. The dip follows an upwardly revised 0.9% increase in the prior month. The latest print marks the steepest contraction in manufacturing activity since June. Finance Minister Godongwana isn't considering amendments to banking laws to prevent what the Zondo Commission of Inquiry referred to as the arbitrary closure of banking accounts. In a written reply to a question in Parliament, Godongwana stated that changes aren't immediately needed, but he will initiate an evaluation of any potential improvements that could be implemented to enhance the Financial Sector Conduct Authority's standard for banks. This will ensure that financial customers continue to be suitably protected. Godongwana added that Treasury would also be engaging with several bodies, including the Banking Association, on the matter. Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition Pax Dao says government is not giving up on finding a solution that might save ArcelorMittal's long steel business in South Africa. The firm recently announced its closure. The move puts 3,500 jobs at risk and will devastate the Newcastle and Vereeniging economies. It will also have serious implications for Transnet. The rail company will be forced to import the steel it needs for the refurbishment of its vast railway infrastructure that has been besieged by theft and vandalism. Dao says his door is open for his department to work with Amsa to find a workable and lasting solution. Investors are waiting with bated breath to see if 2025 will eventually be the year in which Coca-Cola Beverages Africa will follow through with its delayed mega initial public offering on the JSE. That's after renewed optimism in South Africa after the formation of the Government of National Unity last year. The IPO was first mooted in 2021 but has been delayed as the company waits for market conditions to improve. Reports suggest that Coca-Cola is now ready and is seeking a valuation of more than 151 billion rand for the business. Further afield, South Korea's Hyundai Motor Group says it plans to boost domestic investment by 19% to a record high of 24.3 trillion won this year in an attempt to secure future growth even as it grapples with economic and political uncertainties. Here's more in this package report.
Hyundai Motor Group says it plans to invest a record $16.7 billion in its South Korean operations. That would be up almost a fifth on the year. Thursday's move is a bid to secure future growth even as the firm grapples with economic uncertainty and political turmoil in its home country. The group, which includes Kia as well as the namesake Hyundai brand, is the world's number 3 automaker behind Toyota and Volkswagen. Around half of its new investment will go on developing next-generation products, including electric and hydrogen-fueled vehicles. The other half will go on regular investments for things like adjusting production lines to make EVs. In a statement, the group said it was all necessary to overcome the current crisis, without specifying what crisis it meant. Last week, the company referred to recession and global conflict as key external risks. South Korean consumer confidence has plummeted following the declaration of martial law and then impeachment of President Yoon Suk-yeol. Meanwhile, US President-elect Donald Trump has vowed to impose 10% tariffs on all imported goods. Kia shares were up close to 4% by early afternoon following the news, with Hyundai up around 1%. Both gains far outpaced Seoul's benchmark Kospi index. Earlier this month, Hyundai and Kia said they plan to grow their combined global sales to almost 7.4 million units this year, following a dip in 2024.
An online fast fashion retailer, Shein, is aiming to list in London in the first half of the year, according to 2 sources with direct knowledge of the matter, assuming it gains regulatory approvals for the IPO as well. Here's more detail in this report.
Shein aims to list in London in the first half of the year if it gains regulatory approvals for an initial public offering. That's according to sources close to the matter. One source said the IPO could be completed as early as April. The source added a visit to China by Britain's Finance Minister Rachel Reeves could help push the regulatory approvals Shein needs. Shiin declined to comment, while Britain's Finance Ministry also did not reply to Reuters' questions. The London listing push comes after the online fast fashion retailer ended its attempt at a US IPO. It received pushback from lawmakers concerned about risks connected to China and alleged labour malpractices. Shein walks a political tightrope as it tries to show it has measures in place to limit the risk of human rights violations in its supply chain, while it also tries to avoid any direct claims about China's Xinjiang province. It's a top cotton-producing region where the US and NGOs have accused the government of forced labour and other abuses against Uyghur people. Beijing denies any abuses, and Chinese authorities have hit back at clothing brands that say they don't use Xinjiang cotton.